on today's call, we're going to play a little game. All right. And that game is called Decipher That Excuse. Okay. So we're going to go one by one through the most common excuses that I hear all the time. Okay. What they really mean and how to avoid always falling back to them. Okay. Because we are human. We're not perfect. We will always have excuses. Always and forever, but we need to be smart and realize that they're excuses and then have tools to fight those excuses, okay? And realize that they actually are excuses. So, ladies, in the comments, tell me, why do you think it's important? Why would it be important to learn what excuses mean? Not just learn about them, but learn what your excuses actually mean. Why do you think that's important? To break the habit. Love it, Natisha. Good answer. See if we can get one more. To learn how to improve them. Exactly. A way out. Exactly. Take accountability rather than blaming the problem. Awesome. So you guys are on the right track there. So it's important that we learn what they actually mean, not just that they're there. That's about 50% of being stronger than your excuses, okay? So I'm going to list off the most common excuses I get probably every day, guys. Every day, from fit queens who are just starting to become a fit queen and still changing their mindset, still in that beginning phase of that internal shift, from prospects that I speak to, from people messaging me for help. A lot of people before they enter the fit queen community, and everybody in this call could attest to that, you haven't bought into that fit queen mentality yet, and you still do, for the most part, live in your excuses. So this is something I deal with on a daily basis, and I really want to go over it. So first excuse, we're going to decipher and figure out what it really, really means. So I don't have time, or this is not the right time, or I'm too busy. That is one that I get every day. No time, not the right time, or too busy. Put your hands up if you have said that to yourself, whether or not it was true. Everybody has said it. Everybody's hand just went up. Exactly. So when we say that, what do you think that means? Let me call on Ashley. Ashley, unmute yourself. Tell me what you think no time means. What does that excuse mean? See if you can unmute yourself.
There we go.
All right, go ahead. What does it mean?
For me, I've used that excuse because I have the time, but in my mind, I'm too busy in my mind, but like, I know if I just adjust a few things are there, I can make time. But I think maybe it just stems from like not actually wanting to do it or being afraid that I'm not going to see results. So I just say I don't have time.
Good job. Good digging deep. I like it. Let's try Sam. Samantha, what does this excuse mean? I don't have time.
That I don't have time means I don't care about my health, I guess, as much. That's what I've been trying to tell myself more and more. Every time I try to say I don't have time, I'm trying to rephrase it to I don't care about myself. When someone asks me, how come you're not working out or something? So trying to fix it.
Love it. So both really good answers there. And pretty much when you use the excuse, I don't care how busy you are. I do not care. If you say to yourself, I do not have time, it just simply translates to it's not a priority. Period. That is all that means. I have not made it a priority. Your life is not busy. Your life is not hectic. We all have the exact same 24 hours in a day. Okay? You know when you don't have time? You know when you really don't have time? When you're sick. When you're old and you can't move, then you don't have time, and then it's too late. So you either make time to get healthy now, or you make time to deal with the disease later in life. You choose when you make the time. It's going to happen. You either choose now to make time and be healthy, or you choose later to deal with the repercussions of not being healthy. So whenever you say, I don't have time, rephrase it. Just like Sam said, don't say it out loud. If you catch yourself saying those exact words, I don't have time today, say, I'm not making it a priority today. Then see how fast that switch flips and you try to fit it in. Because saying that out loud makes you sound like a loser. Makes you sound like a freaking loser. And I've said it a million times. I don't have time. I can't fit it in. And really, I could. Could I wake up early? Could I not watch that episode of The Bachelor at the end of the day? Yes. Do I want to sacrifice those things? No. But is my health important to me? Yes. So you have to make sacrifices. If it was easy, it would be part of our day already. But it's not. So it requires changing your routine. And some people, they will come to me and say, you know, I think I'm pretty healthy, but I want my body to look like this, right? So you're not happy. If your body looks like this, it means you're not happy and you're not healthy, right? So you can't say I'm happy and I'm healthy, but I want to change. That doesn't make sense. If you want change, if you want your body to change, if you're unhappy with your health and happy with your appearance, that means you're not healthy and not happy to certain degrees. Okay? So saying I don't have time is just a cop-out for you not making a priority because it's either not serious to you, it's not serious, and you're just saying that to make it sound like you're making an effort. You're tricking yourself into believing you're actually trying, which is a lot of the times because a lot of times if we sat down and analyzed our excuses, we'd be really disappointed in ourselves. We'd be really disappointed in ourselves. We'd be embarrassed. Okay, because we were failures, because we made this lame excuses up, and we'd be embarrassed. But if we faced it, okay, and then got over that embarrassment, you'd realize that these excuses are not excuses. The excuses we come up with are invalid for why we can't be healthy, because it's either make time now or you're going to have to make time later, and it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to backtrack. Take a look at your parents and your grandparents. You don't want to be them, right? So that's excuse number one. I hear, I'm not even kidding, guys, every single day, okay? And as a coach and as a trainer, it's my job to ingest that information and see where it's coming from, okay? Some people say excuses and they don't know that they're stuck in their excuses. Some people say excuses because they want to forever be a victim. There's two types of people, and it's my job as a coach to figure out where you are at in that scale. Okay, if you're on this call, if you've joined Fit Queen, that means you don't live in your excuses and you don't want to be a victim. You want to learn how to be a warrior, right? So you can pat yourself on the back for that one. But it's funny to see because some people will always use that excuse and it doesn't make sense for me. You don't have time for anything else except your health. If your life is so crazy, you don't have 30 minutes 3 times a week for yourself, I don't want to live. Do you want that life? I mean, if that's the reality, you got bigger problems than no time, right? What are you distracting yourself with for being so busy? A lot of times busyness doesn't equal productive. Busyness equals distraction. So if you find yourself saying this one the most, ask yourself, why do you keep distracting yourself with so much? If it's pulling you away from your health. Okay? So big unraveling of that one. Okay? So that's the most common one. Second one I get, guys, I don't have money. Okay? It's too expensive, or I have to save up and wait till I can afford it. Okay? Now, when you have to wait to afford something, doesn't life just happen and another emergency pops up? Your car breaks down, your basement floods, you have your kid's 5th birthday party and you buy a bouncy castle, right? There's always going to be extra expenses. So when it comes to saying I don't have money, what that translates to, ladies, is you do not value it, okay? And when you do not value something, you look at it as an expense instead of an investment. Does that make sense? Any money you spend on your health is never wasted. If you go into overdraft on your credit card or your debit card because of your health, it's not wasted. And I say that because I've been there, and it's not wasted. It pays itself back in so many ways you realize and so many ways you don't realize. So when we say, I don't have money, okay, yes, you do. This is just not a priority to you. This is just not of value to you. You don't want to put a value on this thing. So shift it from saying, I don't have money to saying, how can I afford this if it's important to me? How can I afford this if it's important to me? Is that unreasonable, ladies? Is that an unreasonable request, right? To shift your mindset there, because health is an investment. And let me tell you, it is a long-term investment. It's like the stock market. You can't just invest one day and hit big. You don't see your rewards until years. So it's something that is really hard to spend money on because, number one, ladies, you've probably failed a lot, so you don't have trust in a lot of things, right? And number two, you don't see instant gratification. It's not tangible. Weight loss, health, these aren't tangible things. And if we can't touch it, if we can't grab it, it's harder for us to justify buying something. Is this resonating? Does that make sense? So watch how you speak about things, okay? Yes, sometimes money is tight. I'm never going to take that away from anybody. But let me ask you this, guys. What is your dream house? What is your dream house? If you could live anywhere, in any house, what would your dream house be? Ishika, what's your dream house?
I really want a condo in Toronto.
You want a condo in Toronto? I love it. Nancy, what's your dream house? Got to turn up, I think. Nope. Oh, there it is.
Dream house is big century home with a big porch.
Big porch. I love it. So there you go. So think of your dream house. If it popped on the market for $1,000 tomorrow, that's it. $1,000 tomorrow. How quick would you buy your dream house? How quick? You wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't even read the contract. You'd be like, $1,000, I'm moving in right now, right? But the only house that matters is your body. So why don't we spend money on that? It's crazy. Go look at your statements. Go look at your credit card statements and look at all the frivolous things we buy. There's absolutely staples. There's bills that need to get paid. But what about that coffee you didn't need? Or that lunch you bought out that you could have packed beforehand? Or the pair of shoes that you didn't need, the extra jacket you didn't need, going for drinks, buying chips for the hubby. Like, these are all things you don't need that add up. Whether it's $20 extra a month you're spending that you could save, or more likely probably $300 or $400 on things you could save a month. Doesn't matter how much. There are things that can be saved. There are things that can be pinched. Why are we so quick to buy physical things but not spend money on the thing that matters the most? You can't enjoy the physical things you buy if you're not healthy and living. You can't enjoy your dream house if you can't walk, if you're in a wheelchair, if you get winded when you go up the stairs, right? The only house that matters is your body. That's the car. That's the only vehicle you've been given in life. So why do we take such poor care of it? Why don't we invest in it, right? We do regular maintenance on our cars. We get the oil change. We put the proper fuel into it. We don't overdrive it, right? We treat it well. We don't do that with our body. So when someone says, I don't have money, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Okay? Where there's a will, there is a way. Fair? Good. So that's number two that I get very often. When I hear that one, all that it makes me think is that I have to help this woman expand her mind. I have to help this woman really see and appreciate what health can do for her, right? And usually most people have that mindset of not wanting to spend a crazy amount of money on their health, simply because nothing has really worked so far. So they don't have anything to measure it or compare it with to prove that it's going to work, right? So of course you're not going to want to invest a large sum of money if you're uncertain. Of course, that makes sense to me. So when I hear it, I don't believe it, but I understand the mindset behind it. And it's my job to walk you along the path of realizing how important your health is. Because even the ladies on the call right now who are in the academy, you guys have leveled up in mindset, right? You can totally say that you've leveled up in mindset, but you're still not even at the top. We still have levels to go, which is really exciting. And it's just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Like I spend $400 every month on a coach, and my coach spends money on a coach. You just need somebody who's constant in your life. And guess what? Those people cost money because they provide an outstanding service. So my whole purpose behind breaking this excuse and kind of revealing the message behind it is to simply, if that's where you're at, if that's what you think, or you catch yourself saying it, just say, if it's important to me, how am I going to work towards affording it? How can it work? If I want it, how can it work? Instead of writing something off right away. Okay? So that's the second one. Third one I hear it's pretty common, and it's, I've tried everything. Nothing works. I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. Who said that one? Handful of people. Or I've tried too much. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't even want to try that. I'm just going to give up. Right? What do we think that one means? What do we think that one means? Let's go Teji. Tej, when someone says, I've tried everything, what do you think that really means? There you go.
For me personally, I think they've just they're giving up and just making up more excuses not to actually go into it. Like I can relate. I've gone through, I think, at least 4 or 5 different tries before Fit Queen of reaching a certain weight, but then falling back and gaining even double to triple of where I was. So yeah, even going into this at the beginning, there was that fear of, will I succeed? So should I try? So there was that procrastination for a bit that, yes, I'm going to do it, but took a while to even call or walk in that door into Fit Queen.
That's perfect. You hit it on the head there. Let's do Rose. Rose, I saw that smile. So Rose, when someone says, I've tried everything, and they use that as an excuse not to try something, what does that mean to you? Where'd you go, Rose? I think we lost her. Can you hear me, Rose? Yeah? Can't hear you. That's okay. We'll try Sherry. Sherry looks like she wants to contribute. So Sherry, what does that mean? I've tried everything. Unpack that. What do you think that means? So make sure you unmute yourself.
Sorry, there we go.
Go ahead.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, it means you're giving up too soon. You're not giving yourself enough credit and not pushing yourself through enough, and you're just giving up too soon.
Beautiful. Short and sweet. That's exactly it. That's it, guys. So if you find yourself at this edge, like you're on the edge, and you've been disappointed and you failed so many times where you start to think that you've literally tried everything and that there's no hope for you, if you're on that edge, think of how silly that sounds. You've tried everything? Everything? Have you traveled to Thailand and then talked to a monk? Have you talked to a Chinese medicine doctor? I don't know, you really tried everything? No. So first of all, that's a huge hyperbole, big exaggeration, you drama queen, okay? Secondly, there's only 2 options. There's only 2 options in health, in fitness, in life. You keep trying or you don't try. There's only 2 options. You stop trying or you keep trying. What happens when you stop trying? Nothing happens. Nothing happens, and that's the problem. What happens when you do try? You're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot. But then what might happen? You might succeed. You're eventually going to succeed. So if there is a 2%, if there's a 2% chance that you're going to succeed over the 0% chance that there's going to be no success, even if it's a small success, why would you not take it? Why would you surrender? Right? Because if you just stop trying, if you say, oh, I've tried everything, nothing's going to work for me, well, then guess what? Nothing will work for you. Nothing will work for you. And it's that attitude that's got you here in the first place. It's that attitude that's giving you the body you don't want, the health level you don't want, probably relationships you're unhappy with, a daily routine you're unhappy with, a career you're unhappy with. It bleeds into everything. So if you don't keep trying for you, you can't try for anything else in life. If you don't keep going for you and your health, how are you going to keep going for your children, for your spouse? How are you going to level up in your career? How are you going to level up in life if you give up on you? That's the only job you have. Take care of yourself, and everybody else you love will feel that and be taken care of because you take care of yourself and you lead such a good example. So when I hear I've tried everything, that makes me feel sad because a lot of women believe it and they're so disheartened and so discouraged and so let down that they've accepted that they're going to live a mediocre life. Their health is going to be subpar and they're just going to, it's downhill from there. They've kind of accepted it's downhill from there, right? They've reached their peak in their 20s and then it's just downhill from there. That's not what it is. Just because you're 40, just because you're 50, just because you're 60 does not mean your life starts to go downhill. In fact, it can be the opposite. There's no such thing as too late. There's no such thing as I've tried everything. Okay? This is my first time meeting some of you on this call. You haven't tried me before, right? So you don't know. So that just makes me feel sad and it makes me want to help even more. And it's like a challenge. You know when someone says, you can't do that, you want to do it even more? That's what it's like to me. So that's a challenge I like to hear. It's like when you tell your kids, only one cookie, they want two. They're going to go for two. You just told them only one, right? That's how I feel about that. So that's that excuse. Now, this one is funny. This one is probably the funniest excuse I ever hear. I got to sneeze. I don't know if it's going to come. So the funniest excuse I ever hear is, I need to get in shape before I start going to the gym. I need to lose weight before I start a program. Huh? I'm sorry? Oh my goodness, this one makes me laugh. Put your hand up, be honest. Who said that? Or who said that? I gotta get into shape or I gotta lose a few pounds before I go to that yoga class? Yeah. Yeah. What? The things we convince ourselves of, it is hilarious. How does that make sense? If you wanted to go to the yoga class to get fit, how does not going to the yoga class help you get fit? How does that make sense, guys? So that one I hear all the time. I want to get in shape before I do blank. I want to lose weight before I do blank. But that doesn't make sense, right? How you start your journey is how you go through your journey and how you finish your journey. Okay? How you start it determines the rest of your journey. So if you start it in a way that is inconsistent, if you start it in a way where you're already focused on timing or you're already waiting, well, that's just going to bleed over into the process and it's going to show in your results. Because what you do in private shows up in public. What you do in private shows up in public. You wear your habits. You are wearing your habits, you are wearing your lifestyle on your body in the form of fat. People say don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm a firm believer there's more to people than their appearance. But let me tell you, physical appearance can tell you a lot about the habits of somebody or what they struggle with. Consistency, planning, organizing. Usually they wait too much or they procrastinate or they wait around for motivation, right? Is this making sense, ladies? Are we resonating with this? Your body is a reflection of your habits. Your body right now, if you're unhappy with it, okay, that means you're unhappy with your habits, not your body. Your body's just a symptom of your habits, okay? So when I hear I want to wait for something, it's so funny. Like I posted an Instagram story today. I don't know if anybody watched my Instagram story about the crazy month I have. So in my family, we have 10 celebrations in 4 weeks. Birthdays, Father's Day, anniversaries. We have 10 celebrations within a 4-week period. Okay, we're on week 4 this week. So 10 celebrations, that means 10 different cakes, 10 different desserts on 10 different days in 4 weeks. So that's one like every 3 days I'm having a cake in front of me. Did you think I gave in? No, I didn't. Why? Because I want to strengthen my follow-through muscle and I want to set a good example for you guys. right? Because what I've done in the past and what you've probably done is you say, oh, I'll just wait. I'm going to wait till work to die. I'm going to wait till I come back from vacation to work extra hard. I'm going to wait till work's not so busy to get back on it. I'm going to wait for my motivation to come back to restart. Like, we say all these things of when we're going to start, but the answer should only ever be right now. Right? If you binge eat on Saturday and say, fuck it, I'm going to binge eat Sunday too and restart Monday, well, you're missing the point. It's okay to binge eat. It's okay to have those habits and fail. But you have to recognize in the moment, the only way you're ever going to fix a habit is in the moment. In the moment. Okay? By saying, I'll just wait next Monday, it's perpetuating the same behavior pattern. So waiting, if you start your journey by pushing off your journey, well, you're going to push off your results. If you wait for the convenient time to start, if you wait for when everything is easy and you have nothing going on, well, then it's going to be really easy to start, but it's going to be really hard to keep going when life gets hard, when life happens, because life is busy, right? And it's so funny because January you have New Year's Eve as a party and a holiday. February you have Valentine's Day and Family Day. March you have March break. April is Easter. May is May 2-4. What's after May? June. What do we have in June? Something in June. July you have Canada's Day. August you have another long weekend. September you have another long weekend. October is Thanksgiving. Then you have November, which is like when all the cookies get made for Christmas, and then Christmas happens. Like every month there's an excuse to say, I'll start till this, or I'll wait to start until this is over. But guess what? By the time you start, or you've put in one good week, there's a new holiday or a new event that's just popped up. And then you repeat the same habit and say, oh, I'll just wait for this to be over, and then I'll start again. Fast forward 12 months, and maybe you got 4 weeks of healthy eating in between all the holidays. That's what a year looks like. Be prepared. If you have a party every week, for 52 weeks, when are you going to start? Never? No, you just start and go with it. You start when it's hard, and you bet you'll be able to stick to it. If you can start when it's extra hard, you'll be able to continue when life gets hard. But if you start when it's easy, you're not going to be prepared for when life gets busy. You're not going to be prepared to start juggling your health with your daily routine, because it's hard at first. And the Academy Fit Queens on this call can attest to that. It takes practice, takes organization. And if you don't have those things, you're going to fall behind. But if you've started incorporating this into an already busy life, into your regular schedule and not waiting, it becomes much easier because you've already started to make room for it and start to shift your routine for it. Okay? So when someone says, I want to wait to lose weight, I'm going to lose weight before I start something, it's just them convincing themselves and making themselves feel better that they will do it. But realistically, they won't, right? When you say that, you're giving yourself permission not to actually try, okay? You're just able to sleep at night and be proud of yourself because by saying that, you think you've made the first step. Well, I've planned it, so I'm halfway there. Well, no, that's not how it works, okay? So that's another excuse. I also get this one. It's too hard. I can't lose weight. I have bad genetics. Okay, I get that all the time. I have bad genetics. I just can't lose weight. My body just can't lose weight. Who has said that? Or who has thought that at some point in time? We've all gone through that kind of like peak frustration. We said, my body is just not going to lose weight, so I'm just going to accept it the way it is. Except you don't accept it because you don't like what you see in the mirror. You don't, to whatever degree that is. Maybe you hate what you see in the mirror. Maybe you're just slightly unhappy. Either way, you don't like your reflection, okay? Because your outside is a reflection of what's happening on the inside, okay? And the inside is bad thought processes causing the outside to not look healthy, okay? So when someone says, I just can't lose weight, it's an excuse for them to stop trying. It all comes back to somebody not really wanting to try. It all comes back to somebody really just wanting to complain. Or you know what's worse? Somebody who just wants pity. Who's ever been pitied before? Someone felt sorry for you. That's a horrible feeling. What a horrible feeling to have someone to look at you and pity you and feel sorry. Oh, Muffin. Like, what are we, 5-year-olds with a flu? No, we got 5-year-olds we got to take care of with the flu. So we can't act like that. So if you're stuck, don't just throw in the towel. This goes back to the same thing where you've said you've tried everything. It's funny because one of my favorite sayings is you have to be reminded more than you have to be taught. Okay, you have to be reminded more than you have to be taught. And I want to take a second and I want to see if you guys really know what that means. So let me see some ladies. So Casey, what do you think that saying means? You have to be reminded more than you have to be taught. What do you think it is?
I've never heard that before, but I feel like you have to be reminded more than you be taught. So it's like, rather than like someone can preach to you all they want and like teach you, but like you have it set in your way, and then it's like just kind of like I guess a mentor. So it's like if you are on the right path and like sometimes like you get, I guess, like brushed away or whatever, just having someone remind you like why you're on that path.
Exactly. So you have to be reminded more than you have to be taught. So here's the thing. For the most part, you ladies know everything you're ever going to need to know about being healthy. You know you shouldn't eat a Big Mac. You know eating a tub of Ben & Jerry's when you're on your period is not a good idea. And you know that you should be walking every day. You know what you need to do. But you forget. There's so much going on up here that you forget the basics. And when you forget, your problems seem like mountains. And you get overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you stop acting. You stop taking action. So you need to be reminded of what to do more than you need to be taught something new. You don't need to learn a whole bunch of new things. You don't need to be in a lecture every day. You don't need to take courses. You just need to be reminded of what to do. And that's what Casey was saying with the mentor. That's what the coaches are for. That's what mentors are for. We're here to remind you what to do. So when in your life you're standing at the base of a mountain and that mountain seems so big and so overwhelming and it's anxious and you feel anxiety over how to tackle it, weight loss wise, fitness wise, or life wise, we're here to talk you off the ledge, talk you down. So that mountain becomes a speed bump. You need to be reminded more than you need to be taught. We forget that we know already, but that's in our nature. That's why I hire coaches. I know everything. I've done years in school, I have multiple certifications, and I've been in this industry for over 10 years. I know everything that I need to know, but I need to be reminded of everything that I know, and I need to be reminded to do it. So we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, okay? And that's also important because different things hit us at different times, okay? So, we have just, Fit Queen as a company, we've just come up with our Golden 5, the Golden 5, okay? And these are the Golden 5, so the 5 rules, the 5 core principles that we live and die by. And if you master and if you wake up every morning embodying these 5 things, you'll be successful in absolutely everything you put your mind to. And it took us a long time to bring it down to 5. A lot of failures, a lot of research, bring it down to these 5. And these 5 apply at different times in your life. They apply at different scenarios in your life. So even though you may know the 5, you forget when to apply it. You forget how to word it so you'll understand it. So you need to be reminded more than you talk. And our Golden 5 are these, okay? Restore responsibility. Restore responsibility. So put the blame on you. You are where you are because of you, okay? Pursue pain. Seek failure. Celebrate failure. It's the only way you're going to grow. Okay? Facts over feelings. Stop acting in feelings. Look at facts and strategically go from there. Okay, that one's really, really important. Burn bright. That's another one of our core tenets. Burn bright. So be bright. Be present. Be supportive and encouraging to everybody else. Super, super, super important. And then lastly, repeat repetition. That one is my favorite. That is the core tenet. And this is an example of reminding more than we need to be taught. This is the core tenet that my life is focused on right now. Repeat repetition, okay? So of those 5, you guys are in different stages and needing a different tenet, okay? I'm at repeat repetition. So I'm all about strengthening my follow through muscle right now. So I'm just repeating repetition. I'm repeating when it's easy. I'm repeating when it's hard. I'm repeating when it's boring, when it's mundane, when it's not interesting anymore, when I don't want to. I keep repeating because I know what to do. So that's my mantra right now. Repeat, repetition. Just keep doing it. If I'm not doing it and I'm complaining that I'm not seeing results, well, the solution is very obvious. So those are our core tenets that tie in the need to be reminded more than we taught. Okay? Now, having said that, so those are the most common excuses that I get, okay? I hope that you guys have kind of been able to unpack those. It's really tough to call yourself out, okay? Because who we are and who we think we are does not align, okay? Who we think we are has some differences from who we actually are. And a lot of the times when those differences are pointed out, it's devastating because we think we are somebody. We identify ourselves as someone. And when we realize we are not that characteristic, it's devastating. Makes us question, then who the hell are we, right? So it's really important to realize that identity is death. Having an identity is death. There's no room for growth. There's no room for change if you are stuck with an identity, okay? I pride myself on having a fluid identity. I can become, I can do, I can adapt to anything and any situation that I need to. I can change. I can change from being a business owner to a coach, to a girlfriend, to a dog owner. Like it changes. Every situation needs something new. And if I go in with an identity and I have to change my identity or realize who I am won't work in that situation, I'm okay with that. I realize that I am nothing. Like it was really cool. Somebody asked me the other day, describe yourself. And I could not describe myself. I could not think of a sentence to describe myself. And I thought that was so cool because I am nothing and I am everything. I am anything I want to be when I want to be it or when I need to be it. I don't have a sentence for who I am because I don't have an identity. I don't align myself with this person and then this only. And I'm in my box of my identity where this is not something that my identity does. Or this is not something my identity would say. If I don't have an identity, I'm free of that change, of that mental prison that having an identity and thinking you're this person. I have a sweet tooth. That's an identity you've been aligning with. I crave too much. Like all these identities we say we are, they put us in a block and they shape the way that we think. So if I were to ask you ladies, describe yourself in one sentence, what comes to your mind? Let's see in the comments. What do you think? How would you describe yourself right now? So what is your perceived identity right now? It's a big question. Big question. So let's see, Sherry, Casey, Sam, Lauren, Ashley, Nance. Casey says free spirit, single mom and full-time medic. Love it. Hopeless. Natisha. So this is good. So I'm going to use Carla as an example. So Carla says single mom and full-time medic. That she sounds like a superwoman, doesn't she? She sounds like Superwoman with that title. But here's the thing. If you identify yourself as that, what happens when you get a man in your life or a partner in your life and you're not a single mom anymore? How does that shift your thought process? How does that change who you think you are? And that's just a simple example. It goes on a much bigger scale. So Ashley says, I'm empathetic. So here's the thing. So this is a good one. If you believe you're empathetic and someone calls you out for being an asshole and being insensitive, how could you forget my birthday? Walls go up and you get defensive because they are calling you out on something that you thought so deeply you were at your core. Well, I'm empathetic. What are you talking about? I care. But that action didn't align with the identity you had. So see the different layers here. And this works with fitness, this works with nutrition, right? How we talk to ourselves, how we work our way into a workout, okay? But it's really, really cool because you need to be aware when we get defensive, okay? Who finds themselves or would consider themselves very emotional or very reactive? Like who likes to get into arguments or who defends themselves a lot, right? You have to ask yourself why. The person with the trigger or the person who's being triggered is the one with the trigger, and that's the problem that they have to fix, not the person who did the triggering. It's you. So if you find yourself reactive or in a situation where you need to defend yourself, oftentimes that defensive behavior is coming from your identity being challenged. That's it. You get so emotional because who you think you are is being challenged. And if you're not that person, then who the hell are you? And not knowing who you are scares the shit out of you. Whoa, am I blowing anybody's mind? I'm blowing my own mind. So if you're getting defensive, guys, that's why. So if I'm coming at you as a coach and calling out your excuses and you're getting defensive, that means because you don't think you have excuses. You pride yourself on being somebody who's no bullshit, no excuses, I get shit done. But if I'm calling you out on it, I'm seeing something different. I'm seeing that your actions are not aligning with what you're saying. And then you getting defensive is you admitting that I'm right. That's what that is. And then from there's two options, okay? I've gotten really good at controlling my emotions because I'm understanding that I don't have a concrete identity. But also, there's only, like, if somebody's calling you out, ladies, if one of our coaches is mentioning something like a bad habit you have to fix, or you're getting to a fight with your significant other, there are two things you can do here, the two ways to handle this. So either they're right, either the person, what they're saying is right, and you need to change something, so change it. If you're a good human being, you want to change and grow, right? That's what your purpose is, to change and grow. So if the person who is triggering you is right, then you change it. If the person who is triggering you is wrong, then you're so self-assured that it shouldn't matter. So why do we overreact? Why do our walls go up so easily? Because you're never going to be successful at losing weight, at being fit, at sticking to a meal plan, okay? If you're stuck in your box of an identity and get defensive every time somebody tries to chisel away at that box, because chiseling away at that box is the only way that we grow, right? Chiseling a hole in that box lets some light in. It lets light in. It opens your mind. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. When you're dealing, like, take it anywhere in life, like, seriously. Like, if your husband is like he's saying you're a slob, you're so messy, oh my God, I can't deal with it, and you get triggered, take a step back and say, is he right? No? Then why am I worried? Is he right? Yes? Then I'll fix it. Simple. Why do we get into fights? Why? So simple. You either trust yourself enough to know that you're right, or trust yourself enough to know that you'll fix what's wrong in anything in life. Okay. And particularly, excuses you come up with diet and healthy living, because all these excuses I have, no time, no money, tried everything, all those excuses that I hear pertaining to why someone isn't being successful or seeing results isn't just limited to fitness and health, right? Because someone can say, I don't have time to work out. And then they say, I don't have time to watch a movie with my kids. I don't have time to go grocery shopping. I don't have time to do dishes. I don't have time to walk the dog. It bleeds. It bleeds. I don't have time to go on date night. And then guess what happens? So if you don't have time to work out, you're going to get fat. If you don't have time to spend with your husband, you're going to get a divorce. Same problem, different outcomes. So then I challenge you, ladies. So if that's the way that it is, then weight gain and being unhealthy is not the problem. Having excess fat on your body, being unhappy with your lifestyle and where you are, is not the problem. It is a symptom. It is a symptom of what's going on in here. Your body is not the problem. It is just a symptom. This is how the problems are coming out. They're not the problems. So here's the thing. Why is everything in the fitness industry, and the weight loss industry? And why do you keep trying to treat the symptom? Why do you keep trying to treat the symptom? Is that what doctors do? Treat the symptom or treat the disease? If you went to a doctor and say, hey doc, I'm exhausted, I'm chronically fatigued, oh my God, help me. He's gonna give you a cup of coffee to treat the symptom of being tired. That's not how it works. You treat the disease, and the disease is inconsistency across the board. Across the board. And it starts with your identity, realizing that you aren't who you think you are, realizing that that's okay, realizing that we're all gonna get defensive and we're all gonna be on a bumpy roller coaster ride trying to understand that we aren't a stuck identity, but it's worth it because like I said, there's two roads. Stop trying or keep going and failing and maybe you'll succeed. How many times are you gonna eat shit? The answer should be forever. Eat shit forever. What's the other option? Don't eat shit and be mediocre? Don't eat shit and be kind of happy? Be content? I don't like that. I don't want to be that. I want to be the best that I can be. And that requires me to eat a little bit of shit along the way. So, my little rant for the day. I want to see in the comments, what is your takeaway? What is your takeaway? Okay. Did you realize an excuse you use and the real meaning behind it? Did you realize that you have an identity that you stick with and have to break? Did you realize that you get defensive too often and why? Let's see in the comments what we took away. So I want to see Rose, I want to see Natisha, Sam, Casey, Anita, Ashley, Lauren, Seema, Nancy, Ishika, Lisa, Ted, Sherry, everybody in the comments right now. Let's see what we got. Angela, Donna, Jennifer, Carla, your takeaway. One thing that comes to your mind first. Angela says, I'm worth it. Jennifer loves the core tenets. Thank you, girl. Those core tenets are literally 10 years of failure and $500,000 worth of our hard-earned money into figuring that out and boiling it down into 5 simple techniques. I realized why I say I'm too busy, have to invest in my body, no more excuses. I learned I need to get a closer look when things aren't going my way. Beautiful. And why I get defensive. Awesome. Time management is key. Love it. The identity thing. I used to think that I can't be a morning person, but since we started doing runs early in the morning last week, I learned how to wake up early. Exactly. That is a great example. It's a great example. I realized that identity is a roadblock. Ooh, Nancy's got bars. Said it better than I did. Identity is a roadblock. Yeah, very, very good. That's how you breaking that identity is one of the next levels. That's how you keep leveling up, right? You can keep seesawing and then going back and forth between on a diet, on an exercise plan. You can keep going back and forth between that, but you're never going to break to the next level until you challenge your identity. Evolve and repeat. Yeah, evolve or repeat. Yep. You better evolve or you're going to keep getting stuck. No excuses and feeling sorry for yourself. Exactly. Feeling sorry for yourself is one of the worst things you can ever do because it does nothing. What does it accomplish? Nothing. Identity is huge. It's a barrier for sure. I realize why I said I'm too busy. Overcome and evolve. Still figuring out my identity. I love that, Teji. Very open and honest. Still figuring out my identity, and that is okay. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter where you come from, ladies. Just matters that we are all here. We're all open. We're all listening. We are all supporting each other along our journey. No matter what step you're on, we're all going through the same thing. We're all struggling with our identity. We're all struggling to practice consistency. These are universal issues, but we are all doing it together. You're not alone, okay? You're not in some other program where they just say, here's a meal plan, good luck. This is different. And that should be very peaceful, and that should give you hope, okay? The teacher says, I'm the good angel on her shoulder. I love it. It's constant everyday growth. That's it, Rose. Constant everyday growth. Good thought to end with. So, growth every day. So what did you do today that shows that you grew? What did you do today that shows that you grew? You don't have to answer, but you need to know in your head. If you can't think of it, that's a problem. That's a problem. So you need to get off this call and do something, okay? So ladies, every day be 1% better. Every day challenge your identity. When you get into an argument, when you feel defensive or offended, ask yourself why. And life becomes way more easy, and your relationships become deeper and more meaningful. And and most importantly, your relationship with yourself. You don't become so hard on yourself because you know you're ever changing and you know you'll make mistakes, which is really nice, and you can love yourself fully. It takes a long time.